Why do you all block so much? Every time I see comments, put it like this, every time I read my comments, I see so many women that just block. If he do this, I block. Oh, I already blocked. Oh, he blocked. Oh, that's it. Him block. It's like, if you all are doing that much blocking, okay, how in the hell are you all able to establish a relationship with anybody? What happened to communication? What happened to, if I don't like this, let me let him know this so he can get it right, okay? I understand the blocking, absolutely. If the person needs to be blocked, I totally agree he needs to be blocked, okay? But I think the blocking is done too much and it's overdone. It's overkill blocking. You understand what I'm trying to say? You're blocking just because he said the sky is yellow and the sky is blue. It's just like your reasoning for blocking, from what I'm reading, is not making sense. And it all falls back to not knowing how to date, okay? See, the problem with you all is that a very large percentage of you all do not know how to date, okay? You don't know how to communicate, and you don't know how to interact with men, okay? You really don't, you know? And you utilize this term, I'm blocking, as though that is the proper way to deal with every situation. It's not. It's not the proper way to deal with every situation, okay? Remember, a man is not perfect, just like you're not perfect, okay? He's going to do things that may not be what you would like, but the first thing that you need to do is communicate that, all right? Now, I'm going to say this because I've already said this many, many times, okay? If a man really likes you, okay, whatever it is that you have a problem with, and you say something to him about it, he's going to get it right because he really, really likes you, and he does not want to jeopardize his relationship with you, okay? So I'm saying that to say this, all right? If you're dealing with a guy, okay, or maybe you're in a relationship, or maybe it's the beginning of a relationship, whatever it may be, or maybe you guys are in the beginning talking stages, whatever it may be, you cannot expect a perfect person, especially in the beginning, okay? They're going to do things that may not be to your liking. Like, for example, when I say do things, I'm talking about maybe something like this. He's not calling you consistently, okay? But in his mind, he may think it's nothing wrong with that. Or in his mind, he may think, well, I don't want to, become a nuisance by calling her every day. You don't know what's his reasoning for not calling you every day. But if you are a person who wants to hear from your guy every day, first of all, you're supposed to hear from your guy every day, all right? You communicate that to him. Well, listen, it makes me a little uncomfortable when, I hear from you on one day and then I don't hear from you for the next 2 or 3 days. That's not going to work for me because I know for a fact that I like talking to my guy, okay? And if you're not calling me consistently, how are we really going to be able to establish something? So if you really like me the way you say you like me, I need to hear from you every day, okay? It's nothing wrong with that, all right? I repeat, if a guy likes you, he is definitely going to make that change, okay? But that does not require you to automatically block him, okay? That just requires you to communicate. Because like I said, if he likes you, he's going to make the changes needed, all right? To make you happy, all right? Because it's a possibility that he really want to talk to you every day, but it's just that he don't want to feel like he is overwhelming you for whatever reason, okay? So he like, well, I'm not going to call every day. And then you're blocking a person like, he don't even know why you blocked him because all you needed to do was just have a conversation. I repeat, blocking is not for every action, okay? It's not, all right? Especially when you're trying to get to know someone, especially when you're trying to start a new relationship, okay? The first thing that you need to do in a new relationship is have open communication. You have to communicate, all right? Because remember, any guy that you are talking to, remember, he have a history. And what I mean by that, there was someone that he was talking to before you, all right? Which means that probably what the woman that he was talking to before you, there were things that she allowed in the relationship that probably won't work for you. You understand what I'm trying to say? Every relationship is different, all right? But that does not mean that because she tolerated in the previous relationship things that you wouldn't tolerate, that does not mean you block him. You have a communication with him so that he would know that that's not going to work for you. All right? It is very important that you learn how to talk, all right? If you have a problem with talking and communicating and your go-to method is always blocking, you will never have a relationship. And you will never have a meaningful relationship. And you will always use the term, I don't have time for these men, I just block, okay? No, that's not the way you establish relationships, okay? And this is what happens when we do not know how to date, all right? Because that's the problem. We don't know how to date. And we're doing things thinking that that's the way that you're supposed to handle a situation. And it's not, all right? You have to learn how to open up your mouth and talk, okay? Stop using emojis for communication. And this is why so many of you all do not have relationships, because you're trying to have relationships using emojis or the blocking method, okay? That's not how relationships are developed. It's not, okay? Because like I've said before, it's just a part of a guy's nature, okay? He's going to make a mistake, but you have to talk to your guy. You have to let him know, I don't like that. Don't do that. No, that's not going to make me feel good. That's going to make me uncomfortable. I repeat, if he likes you enough, he's going to make the necessary adjustments, all right? The only time a man does not make the adjustments, okay, is when he doesn't like you, all right? Or when he's not serious about you, okay? Or when he's not really planning to stay with you, okay? It's just a temporary thing to see what he can get from you, okay? But a man who genuinely likes you, all right? And if you tell him, well, hey, the inconsistency in your communication is not going to work for me. I need to know that you're really, really, interested in me. And the only way I'm able to know that is if I'm hear from you often, all right? He's going to be like, okay, no problem. Problem solved, okay? But for you to just say, oh, I ain't hear from him in 3 days, I'm blocking him. Why would you do that? That's a possibility. That could have been a really good thing. You understand what I'm trying to say? But you're so quick to block somebody till you're not even giving a relationship time to establish. All right? You have to learn how to date people. And this is the problem that is happening with you all. You all have so much to say and don't have a clue about dating. Not an inkling. All right? Because no one is teaching you these things. Okay? No one is teaching you how to date correctly. So you're taking matters in your own hand, and what's happening? It's turning into nothing but flames. Okay? Because again, your method is not working. All right? I repeat, every situation does not require blocking. Now, I'm all for blocking. Let me say that. I'm definitely that girl that believes if a person needs to be blocked to protect your energy, I'm all for that, okay? But I'm more or less talking about the beginning stages of getting to know a person, okay? Just a person is not going to come into your life perfect. There are going to be things that he may do. And when I say things, I'm not talking about something that is drastically, wrong, but just little things. Like I say, he may not call you every day, or, he may, not have, asked to take you out on a date yet. You understand what I'm trying to say? Hey, listen, I'm one, I like to go on dates, okay? Are you one that do dates? Oh, okay, because I know we've been talking for some time and you still haven't asked me out on a date. So I'm just trying to figure out what are we doing here, okay? If he likes you, I could tell you, you will have your date in 24 hours, 48 hours, okay? 72 hours, okay? And from that time moving forward, you will always be going on dates because now he sees that you like dates, all right? That's how men are when they like you. They make the changes to make you happy, okay? So I repeat, if you say something to a guy and he is not making the changes to make you happy, that's because he's not interested in you and he doesn't like you enough to make those changes, okay? And I say that again to say, chill on the blocking, okay? And learn to open your mouth and communicate, all right? That's how you date, okay? That's called effective dating, communicating, okay? Because I repeat, you cannot have a relationship and nothing else if you do not know how to open your mouth and communicate, all right? Just like this, the post I did the other night, and I said the top 4 important questions to ask a person before jumping into a relationship with them. I am just amazed at some of the comments, all right, that I read. Like, for example, one of the comments said, oh, I would never ask that person number 4. And I think number 4 said, well, explain to me, why should I waste my time talking to you? Why should I give you my time talking to you? Explain, why should I do that? That was number 4. That was the question, all right? That is a appropriate question, all right? No man have a problem answering any questions that you have when they like you, okay? And I think one of the comments said, well, I asked a man this question and he never called me again. Of course he didn't, because he didn't like you and he knew he was not going to be there to stay. That's why he never called you again, all right? But a man who genuinely likes you, those 4 questions he will embrace, okay? Because he wants you to know that he is really serious about you, all right? So I'm going to say this again as well. If you run into a situation where you're trying to get to know a guy and just ask questions so that you can protect your space, because questions are very necessary in the beginning of any relationship. You do not go into relationships and not ask questions. You don't, okay? You have to ask questions, all right? So I repeat, if you are in a situation and you ask questions and you realize that when you ask questions, he disappear or he get offended or he's turned off, it's only because he doesn't like you, all right? That's why, okay? He's not coming there to stay. He's coming there to play, all right? That's the only reason he's upset, okay? Because a man who genuinely likes you, do not get upset when you ask him questions about the relationship or about you and him, okay? That only makes a man angry when he does not have good intentions. And if a man is not asking you any questions to get to know you, just know he is not there to stay. He is there to play, all right? So make sure you guys take notes, all right? And understand that blocking is not the always go-to method, all right? Most times it's about communicating, all right? Communication, that's key. Without communication, there is no relationship, period, all right? So if you are one that blocks a person for any and everything, you will be single the rest of your life, okay? You must learn how to open your mouth and talk, all right? So with that being said, guys, have an amazing day. And until next time, be safe. Mwah.